Well, the fawning of those 7 European leaders to Donald Trump, which was just amazing. And there's an equally amazing photograph from that meeting with these 7 European leaders on Monday.
When the world's most powerful leaders gathered at the White House to decide Ukraine's fate, one man seemed conspicuously out of place: the President of Finland. How did Alexander Stubb, of all people, end up as the unlikely confidant shaping the conversation in the Oval Office? In a gathering that brought together some of the world's most powerful leaders, one presence stood out as particularly noteworthy. During a critical round of discussions at the White House this Monday, focused on a potential peace deal for Ukraine, U.S. President Donald Trump was joined by an assembly of key figures. The attendees included Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the Secretary General of NATO, the President of the European Commission, and the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom. Among these titans of global politics was Alexander Stubb, the President of Finland, a nation of 5.6 million people. President Stubb himself acknowledged the unusual nature of his invitation, openly grinning as he preempted the question on many observers' minds. Why was the President of Finland in the room? The significance of Finland's geographic position cannot be understated. It shares the European Union's longest land border with Russia and possesses a complex history shaped by its relationship with Moscow. Despite this strategic weight, the country has not traditionally been included in the innermost circle of such high-stakes multilateral diplomacy. The explanation for President Stubb's pivotal role in these talks lies not in complex geopolitical analysis, but in his demonstrated skill in building a swift and effective personal rapport with the American president. At a time when many European leaders approach meetings with President Trump armed with extensive briefing books and formal talking points, Stubb adopted a decidedly different strategy. During his initial visit to Mar-a-Lago in March, the Finnish leader arrived not with documents, but with a set of golf clubs. A former national team golfer, Stubb promptly challenged President Trump to a round. The two leaders spent the day together on the course, driving golf balls and navigating the grounds in a buggy. This shared personal experience proved to be a diplomatic masterstroke. By that evening, President Trump was enthusiastically describing his new, very good friend from Helsinki to the press corps. That foundation of camaraderie has been consistently maintained, with President Stubb's schedule now frequently beginning with a direct catch-up call from the White House. This unique channel of communication has not gone unnoticed in Washington circles, where influential figures, including Senator Lindsey Graham, have pointed to the Finnish president's role. Some there have even characterized him as a vital bridge between America and Europe. While that may be a considerable overstatement, the very fact that such language is being used is a clear testament to the notable influence President Stubb has cultivated in a remarkably short time, securing a place for his nation at the most important tables of international discourse. Finland's President Alexander Stubb, as a notable figure in Washington, highlights a modern approach to building influence. While his strategic acumen is considerable, observers note that Stubb's success in engaging with the U.S. administration cannot be attributed to policy expertise alone. His presentation and personal demeanor are considered integral components of his diplomatic toolkit. A former triathlete who maintains a notably athletic appearance, Stubb carries himself with an energy that suggests he could effortlessly complete a rigorous physical challenge before his midday meal. His sartorial choices, often consisting of sharp double-breasted suits, combined with a perennial tan, project an image that would seamlessly fit in at an elite gathering in Palm Beach. This carefully curated persona did not go unnoticed during the recent Oval Office meeting, where President Donald Trump openly complimented the Finnish leader, remarking that he looked better than ever and introducing him to others as a young, powerful man. Such details, which might appear superficial on the surface, are far from frivolous in the context of the current political climate in Washington. Within President Trump's orbit, the establishment of personal rapport through shared interests and mutual admiration is widely understood to be a critical tool for political survival and effectiveness. This is a lesson that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky appears to have taken to heart following his own previous, more challenging interactions with the American administration. Recognizing the value of Stubb's approach, Zelensky specifically advocated for the Finnish president's inclusion in the recent peace talks, calculating that his colleague's rapport with Trump could be instrumental in persuading the American leader to take Ukraine's grave situation more seriously. In a clear nod to the effectiveness of Stubb's methods, President Zelensky himself adopted elements of this strategy, opting for a more formal jacket and dedicating effort to the kind of personal engagement that has proven to open doors and foster goodwill. This shift underscores a broader recognition that in today's diplomatic landscape, building a direct and personal connection can be just as important as the substance of the discussions themselves. The remarkable diplomatic rapport cultivated by Finland's President Alexander Stubb with the American administration, while currently a significant asset, enters a period of profound uncertainty as the geopolitical landscape shifts. This is because alliances forged with President Donald Trump have historically proven to be exceptionally fragile, possessing a notoriously short shelf life that often ends abruptly. The recent past offers clear cautionary tales. French President Emmanuel Macron was once hailed as Trump's closest friend in Europe, a relationship that ultimately deteriorated into the imposition of trade tariffs and public criticism. Similarly, business magnate Elon Musk experienced a rapid fall from grace, transitioning from a favored figure to a target of presidential ire virtually overnight. These precedents underscore that President Stubb's most serious challenges are not behind him, but rather lie directly ahead. The central test will likely coincide with any potential future negotiations between President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin. Should the framework of a proposed agreement between the two powers come at the direct expense of Ukraine's sovereignty or security, the Finnish leader would be forced into an impossible position, compelled to choose between a polite nod of assent or a firm refusal. President Stubb has previously made strong declarations, stating he would not even accept a phone call from the Kremlin, establishing a clear and principled boundary. However, the true measure of this commitment will be taken if he finds himself under direct pressure from his American counterpart, a scenario where President Trump himself might effectively press the receiver into his hand. The casual camaraderie of the golf course is one matter, but being party to a high-stakes conversation with the Russian leadership represents an entirely different and far more serious diplomatic arena. For the present moment, President Stubb benefits from the visibility and influence that comes with presidential approval, enjoying a coveted seat at the table among the world's most powerful leaders. Yet a moment of decision is approaching where the quality of his personal relationships will be weighed against the unwavering principles of his nation and the European community. When that moment arrives, it will not be his golf swing, but the strength of his convictions and his diplomatic resolve that will be subjected to the ultimate test. However, in the mercurial world of Trump-era politics, don't you think today's insider can quickly become tomorrow's outsider? Let us know in the comments what you think, and if you want to stay on top of this, smash that like and subscribe button.